Yo, Scorching Sniper, can you hear me? Cause he keeps leaving and coming back. Fat ass? Alright, bro. Not gonna lie, J man. If you're gonna cook for me, you feel me? Meeting bugged, but I'm back. I can hear. Okay, awesome. Alright, fellas. It's a three on here. I don't care. That's all we need. Feel me? Thank you. We got four. That's good. All right, cool. Let's pray. Dear Father, Lord, thank you for this moment. Thank you for this day, Father. As we have this psychology group chat, we ask, Lord, this group call, we ask, Lord, that you give us the knowledge and the wisdom to help us to become better traders, not for our own selves, but for those coming after us and those around us. Thank you, Lord, for this moment. Thank you for bringing us together. Thank you for this Discord and the ability to lead other traders to help them to become better in their psychology. Thank you, Father. In Jesus' name I pray. Amen. All right, fellas. So, the title. Well, I don't have a title. We're just going to name this Psych Group Call, right? So, there is a reason as to why us traders deal with psychological issues. And the one word that causes the psychological issues is called desperation. Desperation is why you even deal with bad psychology. Because look, trading, we all know trading can absolutely become a significant source of income. But the issue is some treat it as the solution to financial problems. And often doing that, it creates a very, it makes it really hard to succeed when you do that. Hold on right quick, y'all. Hold on. Hello? I'm doing good. How are you? Yeah, I'm in a meeting right now, so I kind of have to call you back. All right, thank you. Love you. All right. Yeah, so, right. So, trying to use trading as a financial solution creates actual problems. So, the thing you think that's going to solve your problems actually creates more problems. So, and it's ironic because the people who actually don't need trading to pay, their life or to pay their bills actually become more successful or in a better position to become consistently profitable because they can follow the process without desperation. So having that is like one of the biggest mindset shifts that separate those who stay in long periods of suffering versus those who just like make it out. And if you continue to be in this desperation of thinking that trading will get you out of this hole, it's going to cause you to burn out and you will quit. And you will quit with the mindset that this doesn't work. But it's not that it doesn't work. It's just the only reason why it didn't work is because you were trying to look for it to solve. And this is the question of the hour. Why is it that trading won't solve your financial problems? This might be a shocker to everybody, and this might be kind of backwards, but trading is an amplifier, not a creator. So trading already amplifies. It already amplifies what's already there. So if you have nothing, or if you're building, right? Well, let's just say it realistically, right? Financially, if you're trying to use trading as a financial solution, you have nothing financially. So if you have nothing, you're going to amplify nothing. And what does it mean to amplify nothing? Nothing, right? The stem of nothing is what comes from nothing is greed, impatience, overconfidence, ego. That's nothing. Nothing is the root, and what stems from nothing are the psychological issues, right? So trading literally amplifies what you already have. So you cannot create wealth from only trading. Trading does not create wealth out of nothing. It amplifies what you already have. So if you have capital, it will amplify that. If you have discipline, it will amplify that. If you have patience and emotional control, it will amplify that. And then let me give you guys some monetary values, right? If you have, let's say, $500 and you was able to make 20% in a month with that $500, you only made $100. That's not crazy. That's not insane. But you know that your strategy and the strategy you trade can net you 20% on a certain given monetary value. So inherently, the skill is there. The only thing that would change is genuinely just the capital. That's the only thing that changes. So, with that being said, right, it is advised, it is very much advised that you decrease the attention that you have on trading if you have a profitable strategy, by the ways. Obviously, if you don't have a profitable strategy, you want to put your intention on trading to get a profitable strategy. But if you know your strategy is profitable, your attention should no longer be in trading, but it should more be in your actual own life that you actually need to focus on to build your own capital. Because once that capital is built and you execute the strategy that nets you a 20% a month with more capital, what will change? The amount you make. Because like I said, what's good, Jose? $500, 20% is 100. Okay, cool. So, what is 20% of 5,000? $1,000. What is 20% of 50,000? Wait, let me make sure my math is right. Holy, right? Let's do the math. $500, 20%, 100. So, if you have 5,000, 20%, I was right, $1,000. Okay, good. Quick math. So let's say you have 50K and you was to make 20%, 10,000, right? And then if you was to have 5 million, what's 20% of 5 million? $1 million. But you know that you have a profitable strategy that nets you 20%. But look, as you upgrade in life, your capital increases, right? You're making you made a business, or you got a job as a salesman somewhere, whatever. You just got a job that gives you 6 figures a year, or whatever you do to make a lot of money outside of trading, you get that. Now that you have that, you also know in the back of your mind that you have a tool that can amplify what you already have, right? So with that being said, it is adamant that you understand that trading is not a get rich quick scheme at all. Neither is it a rags to riches. But there are some people, don't get me wrong, there are some people who have literally started from nothing and made wealth from trading. That is very true. That has happened before, but that is very rare. And if you truly believe you can be that rare person, go ahead and try that, and let me know how that goes. Right? I see some comments we have. He says, "I believe that if you are truly disciplined, it can become your. It can. I'm not saying it can't be your source of income. I'm not saying it can't. I'm more or less saying that if you are a person who are in a struggle, like if you're in survival mode, bro, you should not be trading. You should not be trading. But if you are in a place of life where let's say you're working a trash job, but that trash job is at least covering your life right now, because you're not more or less worried about your life right now, you can more or less be working, let's say at Best Buy or McDonald's, with your bills covered, and take off in trading. That can absolutely happen. But if you are in survival, it can't happen, because if you're in survival, you're going to be desperate to overtrade. You're going to be desperate to be greedy. You're going to be desperate to over leverage. You're desperate because you're trying to get out. But if you're in a place where, let's say you weren't trading anymore, and your McDonald's job or your Best Buy job is taking care of your life, and you're not tripping, that's what I'm trying to get to you guys. That's what I'm trying to get to your head. You are at the optimal life stage to be a trader, even if you're not making that much money at your job. But if you're not making that much money at your job, but that job is literally giving you, it's not making you stress about your bills, then you're at a good mindset, right? But with trading and that, don't keep your lifestyle low, because trading is very real. I mean, Scorcher Simon, that's a good question, because yes, it's okay to be minimalistic and have a low overhead, but you want to make sure that, as you're living your life and you're leveling up, you're also parking your trading, because trading is such a variable income. You're parking your good months and your profits into things that give you stability, right? Because we all know how trading is. Trading, you could have a 20% month. Next month is an 8% month. Next month, a 50% month. Next month is a 5% month. That's just the reality of trading. If you think out here you're going to come here and just do 20, 20, 20, 20, this is not a job. This is not a job, bro. You're going to have down months. You're going to have green months. We all know that. I don't have to tell y'all that. We all know that. We have losing streaks. We have winning streaks. But what are you doing with all the big months? Are you putting that into a business that's going to guarantee you steady income that can replace your job? Or are you just blowing it, going to Bali, and having a good time? That's going to determine whether you're going to be in this game long term and how long you're going to be profitable, right? if that answers your question, Scorcher Sniper, just put a check in the chat or a thumbs up. But yeah, let's go back into it. So like I was saying, we all know that trading is not a get rich quick scheme. We all know it's not a rags to riches game. Because what does social media show us, right? It shows us these Lamborghinis, these high rises, whatever, right? That's not the true story. That isn't the true story, right? And what social media would rarely show us would be they worked 40 hours a week, they saved for about 5 years, and they actually slowly built a six-figure account and then slowly compounded it. You feel me? That's what really happened. But they're not gonna show you that. They're gonna show you, oh, I made 500. I got 500 turned into 1,000. Oh, I just bought a Lamborghini. I just got me a Rolex. You feel me? Or look, I just had a 10K day. But they're not showing you that behind that 10K day, they have like 100K account or a 300K account live through the hours they worked at the jobs that they were working at. They were just really disciplined with their money, and then they'll sell you a story to make you buy their course, so you can be income for them, right? So all I want to just give you guys just the basis of everything. Income, no matter the income, gives you psychological freedom. Income gives you psychological freedom, no matter what income it is. If you are a person where let's say you're working at McDonald's, or let's say you're working security and you're making $1,000 a check and and you're making 2K per month, right? If that 2K per month covers your entire bills, it allows you to save, and it allows you to have emergency funds, and it allows you to save and maybe invest. You are in a really good spot. You're in a really good spot. Because from that spot, because everything's covered, you're not worried. Your life is okay if you don't trade. Your life is okay if you don't trade on Monday, Tuesday, or Wednesday. Your life is okay if you only trade 2 to 3 times a week because your life is covered. That spot is equilibrium. You won't look to trade. You won't over leverage. You won't try to force something on the market because, like, why? Your life is good, dude. Your life is straight. So if you have that income, it gives you that psychological freedom. And if you have that psychological freedom, you are now at the optimal mindset to amplify what's already on the inside of you. Because if you feel like you have security in your life, like you are secure and you're sure about yourself, you will be sure on the charts. And let's say you lose the account, you wouldn't just go like, oh my gosh, start crying, because let's say you blow the account. All right, cool. Learn from it, but your life is not dependent on it. Your life is dependent on your job, which is stable. So you could blow your account on Monday and then get paid on Friday. We still good. You didn't lose anything, but just, the investment you put into your account. And I tell you guys this because I went through it. When I will have stints in time where I'm at a job that's giving me about 2 or 3K a month, bro, I can easily buy 5 accounts and pass it in 2 days. But it'll be times where I wouldn't have a job and I'm not, I don't have that income coming in, and my bills are like I have more bills than income, and my bank account is negative. Bro, I look on these charts and I'm trying to just, let me get a payout. If I get a payout, my month will be good. I blow the account. I buy another one, I blow the account. It's just a cycle, because I am not in abundance. I'm not in security. But let's say for instance, right? Let me give you another example, right? Let's say your bills are $900 a month, and let's say $900 to $1,000 a month, and you're working a job that's giving you about $1,500 a month. Look, your bills are $1,000 and you're making $15. Your bills are covered. What's remaining is about $500. As long as your income covers your living expenses, the remaining money, you can use that to risk with trading to get yourself out of the position, but you wouldn't need to force it because you're already in a good position. Your job covers your life. That's it. Just make sure you're just working at a place where your job is covering your life. Now, if you have a job and you have money and you're steadily using your freaking money to buy funded accounts and buy accounts, you're an idiot. Because now you don't have money to sustain yourself. Now you're going to stay in survival. So if you know you don't have the money to buy a funded account or to put it towards evals, leave your money alone, save it, grow it, get to a place where you have money and you're comfortable with your money, and then go into accounts. But it does not make sense to use your last dollar that you need for bills, for real life, on a funded account or on eval. All right, now let's get into examples. We're gonna have Trader A and Trader B. Trader A, right? He has $300 in his checking account. His rent is due in a couple of days, and he just lost his job, right? So if he's a trader, he needs trading profits to actually live. So what does that do? That makes every single trade, it becomes emotional. Now, one losing day feels like his life is over. He in his mind, he's telling himself, I can't afford to lose. So what does he do? What does that breed? That breeds hesitation. That breeds moving your stop loss to secure profits. That leads to you revenge trading. You might even try to over leverage and double your size because your life is depending on the trade. Because you have 300 in checking, your rent is due literally in 10 days. You don't have no income, and you need some type of money. So you're like, oh, trading. But within that, you're like, okay, if I make this money, this can happen. If I make this money, that can happen. But lo and behold, it don't happen. Yes, it's being recorded, my brother. It don't happen because we know how our training is 90% psychological. So because you're in survival, it changes your decision making. Because it's not that you guys are stupid. It's not that you guys suck. It's not that you're unintelligent. It's just your decision making changes when you are in survival. If you're in the woods and you see a rat right there, and that's the only thing to eat, you're gonna eat that rat to survive. Your decision is changing because of your environment. But if you see that you have, let's say you have a tent, you brought food, you have a fire, you're not gonna care about no damn rat. You're gonna eat your food. You're not gonna make a decision like that because you have. But if you don't have, you're gonna do anything. You're gonna do anything in your power to have, and you do the same thing on the charts because your brain is built for survival. We have caveman, bro. Our brain has three. Our brain does three things: eat, sleep, and poop. That's it. That's all it needs. Your brain doesn't need to trade. So if you're looking at trading to eat and have a roof over the head, it's gonna try to survive off the charts, and it's gonna become a disaster, right? So that's Trader A. Now we're gonna go into Trader B. Hold on. Before we go into Trader B, let me read some comments. Trading can't be an if-then statement. Exactly. It cannot. Good stuff, J-Man. Good stuff. All right, let's go into Trader B. Trader B, right? Trader B. He doesn't have an impressive job. His job is not substantial. He's not making 6 figures. Maybe he's touching 5 figures. Maybe. But Trader B, he has a stable paycheck. He has his emergency savings. He has his bills covered every single month. And his trading account is separate from his own life. So, because that's his scenario, a loss feels like, oh, next trade. Next trade. I don't care. My life is good. Even though I hate my job still is covering the bills. You feel me? Like, I still got food in my belly. I got hella food in the pantry, right? Rent is covered. Rent was already paid, like, last paycheck. So if you lose, next trade, bro. And that is a huge, massive psychological advantage. That's a huge advantage because you're now not surviving anymore. You're not living in lack. Desperation and lack is why you have psychological issues. So then if that is your issue, what do I need to do as a trader? I need to put trading down and focus on how can I get some stability right now. Once that stability is there, or what can I do to work towards even more stability? Whether that be going to trade school, go get into trade, working for your pops, working for your family, whatever it is to give you that stability. Once that stability is there, you can go back to trading because now your life does not depend. Your next trade is not going to determine whether or not you're going to eat or have a roof or just survive. Because it's crazy because there's actually a paradox in trading, right? The paradox in trading is that people who need trading the most are often in the worst position to succeed. I'm not gonna lie, J-Man, you just brought something to my mind and I'm gonna go in right now about a demo account. People who need trading the most are often in the worst position to succeed. But the people who don't desperately need trading income often perform better because they can follow their edge consistently without consequence. So this doesn't mean that you have to be wealthy to be an automatically good trader. It just means financial stability reduces the psychological and emotional pressure that you get in trading. That's all. You don't got to be rich to trade. You got to be stable to trade. All right. So let me go ahead and go into what exactly about demo account. So I'm not saying if you are not in a stable position, do not trade at all. Definitely trade demo. But some people may ask, why is it that when I go demo, I'm such a killer and I go crazy, but every time I go live, I suck? Because in demo, there is no consequence. You're not losing anything. You're not losing anything if you are in demo. Think about this. If your life is stable and you have a funded account, or if you have an account that is separate from your actual life, you're not losing anything. You're not. Because your life is good. You're not losing anything if you are stable. So if you trade a funded account, that funded account will feel like a demo. And what's going to happen if you, my friend, are on a funded account treating it like a demo? You're going to go so freaking insane, because we all know how it feels to make 10 bands on demo. You're like, bro, I just did that. It don't mean nothing though, because there's no consequence to it. There's no consequence because your life is not dependent on a demo. Like if you trade a demo, bro, your money's not affected, right? You're not losing anything. So if your life is stable and you blow an account, you can just go buy another one when you can afford it, because your life is not. There's no consequence to you losing the account. But if you're trading right now and you losing the account, there's a consequence that you losing the account is like, oh my gosh, this funded account could have gave me, etc. Then that's why. That's why. Right? So like I said, the people who need trading the most are often in the worst position to succeed. Right? Because think about it, right? You want to think like a business owner. If someone owned a restaurant, they would not expect to become wealthy in just 2 months. That's not realistic. They got to expect startup costs, mistakes, months of learning, gradual growth. And trading is generally no different, right? See your trading account as your inventory. Your trading account is your inventory. Your strategy is your business model. Your risk management is like your insurance, right? Your journaling is like your accounting. And your consistency is just your profit. If you have that mindset, you'll do all the things needed to have a successful business. So yeah. So with that being said, I'm going to go into another topic of why capital matters, right? Like I was saying, right? If you was to have, like I said, remember going back to the 20% thing, right? If you was to have 500 and you was to make 20%, that's 1,000, 5,000, 1,000. Let's say you was to have 20,000. 20% of 20,000 is $4,000. 100,000, 20% of 100,000 is 20,000. The percentage stayed the same, right? Let's say you average about 10, 15 to 20%. Because you know that's how much you average, because you back tested it and you've seen your edge play out over the time, you know, okay, my edge makes this percentage, so I know that this is how much a percentage I can net in a year. That's why you should back test to have that information. So when you have that information, all you got to do now is, okay, let me go ahead and increase my capital in real life so I can execute this percentage on whatever monetary value and let it grow over time. That's why building capital through work, savings, investments, and other businesses can dramatically increase what you can become as a trader. But if you think that, actually, this is actually, this is the order that most traders follow, because I was one of those traders. This is the order: learn trading, quit college, quit your job, become rich. That is retardation. That is not what you're supposed to do. It's not, oh, let me learn how to trade, let me learn a strategy, and let me just quit my job and I'm going to be a millionaire. No. The more durable and honest to God path of a trader should be build a reliable income outside of trading, save an emergency fund, invest into your education, learn how to trade, get better at trading, trade small while working so you can learn more about psychological issues, right? You don't want to blow your account. Trade small while working. Prove your consistency in your system through backtesting and actually live data, right? Gradually increase your capital through your job. And then once trading is netting you 10 to 15 to 20 times what you make at work, you can decide now. You can move from a place of choice to trade full time. You can choose. You can choose to do that. You can choose to be like, you know what, bro? I make 50K at this job. Trading is giving me 300K a year. You don't gotta work at that job anymore. You don't. Trading is netting you 300K, and you're making 50K. You can leave comfortably. But still, what are you doing at 300K? Are you trying to build businesses with it so that 300K can give you another added 6 to 10K in asset? It's not just, okay, I have 300K now, I can quit. You still want to have recurring income. If your job is making 50K, get an asset that's gonna give you 50K, just to have that security behind it. You feel me? That is what you're supposed to do as a true trader. And I'm not gonna lie to y'all, that's gonna take years, bro. We didn't get into trading to get rich quick. And if you did, I'm sorry, friend. This is not the thing. No, nothing in life even gets you rich quick. So if it's not trading, it will be nothing. Because nothing in this life gives you rich quick anyways. Because Proverbs 13:11 says, wealth gained hastily will dwindle, but whoever gathers little by little will increase it. Biblical principle. Right? So yeah, fellas, do we have any questions? Are y'all kind of catching what I'm putting down? Because I'm about to be done. This was a 30-minute call. You feel me? Pretty good information. I don't want to be too long. I don't want to bore you guys to death. But do we have any questions, right? Because all in all, the biggest edge you will have is basically not needing trading, not needing trading to cover today's bills. That's the greatest edge you will have as a person. Because when your livelihood doesn't depend on a single trade, what are you more likely to do? You're more likely to wait for high quality setups. You're more likely to accept your losses. You're more likely to trade your plan. You're more likely to avoid impulsive decisions. And you're more likely to think in probabilities rather than desperation because you don't need it. So just know that mindset of what I'm talking about is really hard to develop if every losing day actually affects or threatens your financial stability, your financial security. It's not going to happen. So ultimately, right, we want to make sure that trading rewards process over desperation and urgency. The goal isn't to make money as fast as possible. That's not what we're here for. It's to become the kind of trader who can make money consistently for decades. For decades. Because that's what will turn you into a gambling trader, into a professional skill. I'm studying physiotherapy right now as a backup plan. Should trading not succeed? Because I ain't going to make 50K a month like these predatory businesses. What about investments? Yeah. So look. So first of all, scorching sniper. I'm just calling you sniper. I genuinely believe, right? Physiotherapy should not be the backup plan, because physiotherapy should be the plan, and as you are in the plan of physiotherapy, you're going to amplify your physiotherapy income with trading. That's the way I should go about it. And I get, I get it, bro. Social media is saying there is no plan B, trading is plan A. I get it. That is a mindset, though, that not a lot of people can actually do. Because imagine you're getting older. You're sticking to that dream of, plan A, trading is plan A. You're doing that, you're getting older, but you kind of still are in the same position because you're working a trash job. You know what? You know what gets even worse? You get older. You got no skills. Trading is still not working out. Now you're 35 in your mom's house, still doing what you're doing when you're 20. But if you pursue skill sets and you pursue getting certification, something to your name as you're trading, you can at least be self-sustainable to where you can go on your own and not depend on nobody, have that financial stability to be on your own and still trade. Because whatever you're doing right now, whatever you're going to school for, whatever you're studying, you're not going to do that forever. But you need to do something to be able to fund it. The end goal is to be a full-time entrepreneur and to be a trader full-time. But you need the freaking capital. Unless you get a sugar daddy, or unless you sell your soul to the devil, or unless you scam, the only way to have access to capital nowadays is through making your own business or getting a 9 to 5. But that does not rule out the people who can do a rags to riches story. But personally, most of the traders that I even follow, bro, had some sort of capital. Doyle Exchange was working at a factory making $4,000 a month. $4,000 a month was probably covering his bills. He was probably using the rest to invest in trading, right? Who's another trader that I know? I don't know if you know this guy. His name is Aristotle Investments. He was a barber and was also in the military. He got paid from the military and got paid from his barber checks. He would use that money that he was making as a barber and put into trading. And he just kept going. Swaggy C, he was on a TV reality show making about 3 to 5K a month from that. He used that money and put it into trading. He had, like I said, it don't gotta be crazy money. You don't gotta be making 10K a month, but minimum 2 bands a month, bro. Minimum $1,500 to $2,000 a month. Have your bills covered. Use the rest of that money to get good, because if you have the skill, brother. If you have, all right, I'm not gonna lie. If you have lower income, it will take you longer. It will take you longer if you have lower income. But that's why I suggest, if you don't want to go to college, go get a trade, because a trade can give you about 50K a month, 50K a year. I wish a trade give you 50K a month, 50K a year, right? Because if you're getting a job that's paying you about $30 an hour, which a trade can actually give you, because I think with a trade they start you off at $19, $20 an hour, $22 an hour. That's a good amount. That's like 4K a month right there, right? If you have 4K a month, living with your parents, $900,000 bills, or you have a low overhead, bro, imagine your bills are like $700 a month and you're making 4K a month. I mean, bro, take all that money and put it into a life account and trade it. Or take that money, buy hella funded accounts and trade it. But even if you do buy those hella funded accounts and you blow them, you only have $7 bills with a 4K income. You're not tripping. But you have that stability. No questions right now. Just learn that trading shouldn't be used as a main income until yes, exactly, brother, exactly. Detachment from everything creates abundance. Live with growth minded and build wealth. Exactly. Because even if you are in survival mode, you know what's crazy? You know what's cool about the mind? You know what's so cool about the mind? You can actually trick your mind into believing that you are already there. And if your mind is already there, the actions and the habits will actually be put onto the charts, and you can actually amplify. That's the only trick. Those who can become rags to riches are people who even around them, they're in survival, can trick their minds to believe that they are really in abundance and can perform as if they were in abundance. I'm not saying that nobody can do that. You can absolutely do that if you try. But if you're going to do that, you cannot let your circumstances dictate up here. You got to be in the negatives in your bank account until tell yourself you're up. If you're that delusional, by all means do that. I can't do that. Me, I need to see stability. I need to know that I'm straight for me to perform on the charts. If I know I'm not straight, I'm not trading, or if I still trade, I'm probably going to blow my accounts. Because that's just me. I'm just being honest with y'all. I can't do that. I can't see a negative bank balance and think I'm great. I'm good. No, dude. I don't operate like that. Some people can. That's a superpower. I can't. You feel me? I want to at least have physical proof that I'm stable before I can tell myself, yeah, I'm good, bro. I could trade. Yeah, cool. You feel me? But eventually, I mean, granted, I try my hardest to stay in it though. Like, even though, you know, circumstances around me may be bad, sometimes if you believe in Jesus, even though your circumstances are like not in the best position, because you have Christ though, you actually still can put yourself in abundance, because you know Jesus tells us that we are princes, we are kings, we are royal priesthood. So you kind of just should walk in that skin regardless of what you're going through, right? Don't let your circumstances define you. Absolutely. I definitely agree. Don't let your circumstances define you. But if you're not a person who's mentally strong to be able to withstand having bad circumstances, don't trade, dude. Get stability first, then trade. But if you know that even through your bad circumstances, you still gonna have a positive mindset, you still can trade. But do not let a loser throw your mind off. Because mind you, remember you're supposed to be operating in abundance anyways. So if you're gonna do that, if you lose, you should be like, I don't care. So yeah. So J-Man says social media is just the devil's path to throw you off and make you feel like you're not good enough, bro. That's true. Don is correct. You need to have income to be a good trader. Do not listen to these guys on the internet. Unrealistic goals, bro, will make you overthink. I would just uninstall it, to be honest, because you don't need social media if someone wants to reach out to you. They can text you. Facts. You know what's crazy? I have a testimony on that. J-Man, let me tell you. So one time I told myself, bro, I'm gonna trade one macro, and this was like in March. I told myself I'm gonna trade one macro, and I knew one macro was the way for me to show consistency, right? And it's not because I'm not good at trading or I don't have the skill. I mean, I'm leading a Discord, for God's sake. I have the skill set, I have the strategy. I choose to go one macro because I just want to get good at consistency without worrying about the emotional part of trading with too much size. You feel me? And I remember telling myself I'm doing one macro. I went on Instagram and then I literally scrolled on reels and it was people joking people who's doing 1 to 2 micros. And inside I was just like, I know I'm good at trading, so why am I doing 2 micros? What I do? I went 15 micros and blew my account the next day. And I asked myself, why did I let social media deter my mind? Because before that, I actually was taking a social media fast, which is where God gave me go little. Then I let the world make me change my course, and I blew the account. Now I'm back to doing one macro, and look, I feel great. I feel awesome. I'm able to operate in a very good mindset when I trade. Because when I enter one macro, I literally don't care. Even if the trade goes against me, I don't care. The max I'll lose in a single day is $200. And now that Top Step has this new update where you can lock out your risk settings till the end of the week, even on days I feel so annoyed that I lost 200, I still only lost 200. So I'm gonna actually on Sunday morning when the market opens, I'm gonna go back into Top Step and do it again. Lock out my settings for only $200 every day. Still trading one micro until my balance increases to allow more size. My size will not grow until my balance grows. I don't care how I feel. I don't care how clean the setup looks. My risk won't grow until my balance grows. And if you guys need help on how to do that, go into the risk management protocol chat. I wasn't in Star Disney. He came to Salmon. Oh, then you came to Salmon. That's crazy, Jose. That's how I detached and got payouts. I learned to trick my mind to believe I'm already there. I'm telling you, E. Yeah, I'm telling you. The mind is powerful. The mind is powerful. But then I got an ego and thought it was better than the charts. Yeah, you feel me? At least you learn. You feel me? You're a better trader because of your experiences. You're a better trader. It's crazy, bro. Ego is so deadly. It's basically 1v1 against the charts. Yeah. Also, semen retention makes you detached. Yep. That boy dropping some game right now. Semen retention definitely allows you to be detached, for sure. Norfolk bus. Yeah, stop. Yep, exactly. I've been learning about myself and learning how to control my ego these last few months, and I've been getting better with it. Stick to your process. Don't stray away. Exactly. I don't even use social media to do comparison, being through joy. Use Instagram, Snapchat. Jesus is right, bro. The world hates you. Yep. Your process is basically intertwined with your journey. You cannot be on the same journey as someone else. Your process isn't going to be exactly. And sometimes we can even more or less compare. Hey, David, don't worry. You didn't miss anything. It's all recorded. You may even compare yourself to your fellow Discord member. Don't do that, please. In this community, we don't compare. We don't bring anybody down. The rules isn't who's better and who's worse. The rules is guides on who can I ask questions? Oh, hey, who's lower than me? Who needs help? You feel me? A master, check up on a student. A master, check up on an apprentice. Yo, I see, this is your role. Like, do you need help with anything? Scholars, the reason why the scholar is in the middle is because those are people who can trade and who are actually good at trading, but are still dealing with psychological issues. That's why when people join in here and I know they trade, I automatically just classify them as a scholar because I know that they might have psychological problems. But masters are usually people who have shown consistency and can actually teach others, and they're not really struggling with psych like that. Like, they don't have psych problem. They may have a psych problem maybe in 3 months. But and they learn from it instantly and bounce back. Specialists are, like I said, those guys who they're also like a master, but they just they're just like they're not really ready to teach yet, but they're good at the strategy. And then scholars like you're good at trading, but you're still dealing with psych. Apprentice, you're not even funded. You're not on evals. You're not unfunded. You're just literally still kind of learning, but you understand the strategy. But you're just trading. Student, you're just new. You're just new. Just so y'all can get an understanding of the rules. The rules is not to say who's better, who's worse. It's just where you're at and what you can do to upgrade. To be a scholar, from a scholar to a specialist, you are no longer tripping about psych anymore, but you're not really ready to teach. Specialist to master, you can trade the strategy very well and you can teach anybody. You can teach your mom, you can teach your cousin, you can teach your baby. Baby's crazy, but y'all get what I'm saying. And if you want to be a leader, you're just going to be a master with the roles of leading everybody and doing announcements, etc. You feel me? Because, I would even to myself, if I'm not acting in the capacity, well, actually, I can't do that because I am the creator of Discord. But if I can't act in the capacity of where I'm supposed to be, I would still be leader, but I would change my role. I would put another role and show you, hey guys, I ain't gonna lie, I'm dealing with hella psych issues right now. Right now, I'm a scholar. You feel me? I would never be a specialist because I can always teach anybody. So I can always, the lowest I can go is a scholar, right? That's the lowest I can go. But the only reason why I would stay leader is because this is my community, right? But yeah, if you are ever interested in staying or being a leader or staying as leader, you got to show that you're not dealing with psych. You feel me? And do not hide that, please. Don't hide your psych issues. That's why we have the psych chat. If you have psych issues, in order for you to get out of it, you should seek help or stay in your psychology problems. It's your choice. You feel me? Because I can even go to y'all and tell y'all about my issues. I can tell y'all, hey, y'all boys, I'm dealing with this. What y'all got for me? This is a community. Just because you're a leader does not mean you're above anybody. We are all on the same level. It's just that there are some that's far longer, and So yeah, that's why I made that the rules. But yeah, fellas, but yeah, I mean, like E said, you can trick your mind into telling yourself that you are in abundance because, bro, you are special. You are profitable. You are in abundance. You can tell yourself that, and whatever your mind consistently repeats, it will be. Whatsoever man thinketh, so is he. That is a bar. Oh my gosh, somebody put a mic on my mouth so I can rap. Let me stop. Let me stop, bro. But yeah, don't let your circumstances dictate you. But still, that doesn't mean, be dumb. Still get some stability. You still want that. Because if you have a good mindset with stability, oh my God, 50K payout. That's all I'm going to say. If you have a stable job that's covering your job, and you have a good psychology and you have a good mindset, you will get a $50,000 payout. Because you're coupled with stability. So you're not dealing with psych and you're always positive. So when you lose, you learn and you get better. That's a dangerous combo, bro. And you got the strategy. That's like the 2013 Heat. LeBron, Dwayne Wade, and Chris Bosh. Good psychology, good strategy, and a positive mindset. Oh my gosh. It's over. It's over. It's over. But yeah, fellas, I think this is pretty much all I have to say. Yeah, so E said that's how he did it. I told myself he was profitable. Yeah, I don't want to say manifestation because that's kind of demonic, but the way you speak over yourself is very, very important. And if you guys need more or less wisdom on the importance of the power of the tongue, please read James. Please read James. Hold on. Power. If y'all can more or less spit it out, that would be great. Please read. Dude, okay, it's in James. I think it's James 4, right? The power of the tongue. Go in James. I don't know how. I'm pretty sure it's James 4, bro. Hold on. Let me find out. I don't know my Bible. Lock in, bro. All right, James 3. James 3 verses 1 to 12. Yeah. Let me put James 3 verses 1 to 12. That will tell you about the power of the tongue. Thank you, bro. Yes, sir. Your words have power. Exactly. Because look, God made the world with what? And we are made in whose image? So if we're made in whose image, who are we like? So if we're like him, what can we do? Speak things into existence. Remember that. Even if you think you're not doing it, even if you think you're not doing it and you don't think it's real, guess what? If you're not doing the positive, you're doing the negative. That's all I'm gonna say, bro. Appreciate the psych lecture. Good to have realistic and romantic. Of course, bro. Absolutely. It ain't no get rich quick. You're not gonna make 50K in a month, in a year. You feel me? But if you have that mindset, and if you have the words back behind your life, you can actually change your life off of what you just tell yourself. Because even if you're working at a job you don't like and you don't have that much money, even though your money covers your bills, if you tell yourself that you are in abundance and you are you're operating that capacity, I can guarantee you will really do well in trading. You will really do well in trading. Because I'm not gonna lie, this morning for the shorts, I was looking for longs, right? Totally off topic. And I wanted it to size up. I wanted to size up and trade like 5 to 10 micros because it was so clear. So clear. But I was like, no, I'm going to stay 1 micro. And I made $300. My job I work at right now, I get paid like $16 an hour, working 8 hours a shift. You know how much I'm making in a singular shift? $128, dude. And today, off of 1 micro, I made 300. Like, I'm tired. No, hold on. You feel me? So what else do I need if I can make $300 off of 1 micro?
I'm proud of my brother, bro. I love my brother, dog.
Yes, sir. It's okay, bro. At some point, once you get to that level, you'll be able to, exactly. Facts. So that's what I was telling. I think it was, who asked me that question? I think it was you. You asked like, did you hold? I'm like, no, I made what I made at my job, bro. I'm good. I'm straight. As long as I make above $128 in a day, that's fine. Because guess what? If I was to make $90 and I had 5 accounts, I'm still making more than my job. You feel me? So it's not about 1 account, but if you have the good habits on that 1 account, even if you're making less than your job, you're still gonna have good habits on that 1 account, and you pass that account and get a payout on that account. Just get yourself more accounts, and you're out doing your job anyways. Because the main goal should be to quit your job. Yo, Jeffrey! That boy's asking if I'm gonna put you on trading. He doesn't want to trade, bro. He's an artist, bro. He got his own business. Them boys ask, am I gonna put you on trading? I've been trying to make this man trade, bro. But he got his own clothing business, and he's already making money off his clothes. He one of them asked me if I want to put you on a trading. I've been telling you how to trade, cause I don't listen, bro. But he said he's not worried about trading right now. Eventually, maybe he might get into it when he see you. Feel me?
You feel me? I'm just gonna say that's not really my calling. You feel me? Everybody has their own purpose in their calling. And mine is able to visually bring something in my head into the physical world, and that's more valuable than any amount of dollar that I can make.
Yeah.
You feel me?
Watch this. Watch one day, cause his dream car. I don't know why that car is just really ugly. He likes the EQS Mercedes Benz. They're like a ladybug. But if I was to buy him an EQS, I told him if I buy him an EQS, he has to know how to trade.
No, I'm gonna stick with my Toyota Corolla. if I were to make $1 million by tomorrow, stick with my Toyota Corolla, bro. Live below your means.
That's the mindset. You feel me? Like that's how he thinks.
See, right now, I agree. I'm living below my means right now, and I'm so at peace, bro. Trying to live to a certain lifestyle. It's so depressing. Everybody boasts about what they got on the internet. It's all fake. Nobody's happy. Everyone's sad.
That could be a rented car, bro. You feel me?
Just live below your means, bro.
This the conversation me and him be having, bro, all the time, bro. Feel me? So we both locked in, as y'all can see. We both locked in. We finna definitely change our family and lift up the name, our last name. So definitely be excited.
Lift up God's name.
Absolutely. You feel me? This is why.
Ever teasing the project that I'm about to drop.
Yes, sir. We're finna lift the name of Christ first and then our name second. But all right, y'all boys. I love y'all. I'm really happy y'all boys joining this group call. Rewatch this group call if you need. If you ever get discouraged, rewatch it right here. It's gonna be in the psychology group chat. I'm gonna pin it. Y'all boys have a good rest of y'all day. I love y'all boys, man. Let's keep getting better. Feel me? I'm gonna definitely do a weekly recap after I'm done eating because I'm hungry. I'm gonna do a weekly recap that's gonna drop. Tune into that. All right, y'all boys. Love y'all.